Iraqi Dinar Today latest news. An electrifying wave of speculation is currently sweeping through the dedicated community focused on the Iraqi dinar, suggesting that a monumental shift in the currency's valuation is not only imminent but actively underway. The collective mood has dramatically intensified over the last few hours, moving from cautious optimism to a palpable sense of near-term expectation. Those who have diligently tracked the financial movements of the dinar for years are now noting an unprecedented tempo of activity behind the scenes. This surge in attention points toward a strong belief that the sophisticated processes required for a major revaluation are now finally engaged. A long, anticipated transition that many have waited patiently to see unfold in the global financial arena. The most compelling narrative circulating across various digital platforms tonight posits that the lengthy period of preparation is officially concluding, and the necessary financial machinery is fully operational. Whispers suggest that major international banking channels are showing signs of heightened, perhaps frantic, activity, an indicator that the financial system is bracing for a profound change before the sun rises on a new day. This alleged shift draws the attention of currency holders across the globe, all keenly observing the current landscape for any definitive sign that their years of holding onto the asset may be nearing a significant conclusion. The energy of this moment is built on the shared history and hopeful anticipation of a worldwide community. In the past hour, the intensity of discussions on investor forums has spiked dramatically, fueled by a concentrated and unconfirmed rumor. The cryptic, yet highly specific, phrase system "Go Live IQD Rate Active" has become a central talking point in numerous private, invite-only digital groups. This synchronized chatter has triggered widespread attempts to decode and verify the potential implications for the global financial infrastructure. The sudden and focused alignment of these conversations, spanning continents and time zones, strongly suggests a shared conviction among participants that a critical, pivotal moment in the dinar's story has arrived, demanding immediate and sustained attention. While these intense conversations are unfolding in informal, speculative settings, the sheer volume of detailed exchange underscores a remarkably high level of both expectation and engagement from the community. Individuals participating in these closed forums are busy constructing intricate theories concerning the possible activation of new exchange rates, pooling fragments of information from diverse international sources. The collective effort is focused on piecing together an unconfirmed but vivid picture of a major financial system actively transitioning to a new reality. The community's sense of urgency is driven by a desire to understand the technical underpinnings of this potentially historical currency event. The genesis of this latest wave of community enthusiasm appears to be rooted in a convergence of multiple digital communication streams originating across the United States and the Middle East. Forums on platforms like Telegram, along with various secure, invite-only chat rooms, are well-known hubs for focused currency speculation and the theoretical mapping of future exchange scenarios. The core of the current rumor involves several prominent Tier 1 global financial institutions, with names such as Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, and HSBC being mentioned frequently in the circulating accounts. The inclusion of such globally recognized banks lends an air of legitimacy to the claims, further escalating the community's interest. Specifically, the circulating rumors allege that internal systems within these major financial institutions are now displaying newly activated placeholder figures specifically associated with the Iraqi dinar. It is crucial to emphasize that, as with all such speculative narratives, this compelling account currently rests on unverified claims attributed to internal sources rather than any official confirmation from the Iraqi government or its central bank. This inherent lack of public, official endorsement naturally adds a layer of conjecture and complexity to the unfolding situation, forcing the community to rely on interpretive analysis of the alleged data points rather than verifiable facts. Expanding on this speculative scenario, the narrative suggests that the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) has quietly initiated the process by transmitting preliminary rate indicators to its downstream corresponding banks around the world. This alleged transmission is being widely interpreted by community analysts as a crucial form of system testing, a mandatory technical prerequisite before any public announcement or large-scale currency movement can occur. The common metaphor used to describe this process is the image of a massive electrical switch being thrown, signifying that the complex global financial network is now energized and operating in silent anticipation of a major revaluation event that has been the subject of dedicated discussion. Over a decade, this segment of the community discussion places a strong emphasis on the intricate technical aspects of a potential currency revaluation. It suggests that a thorough, discreet preparation is being conducted beneath the public eye, focusing on ensuring all the financial pipes are fully integrated and tested to accurately handle the new valuation metrics. The primary idea is that this quiet, meticulous groundwork is necessary to guarantee a seamless transition when the official figures are eventually released. The focus on these technical preparations adds a layer of methodical gravity to the overall narrative, suggesting that the event is an organized logistical exercise rather than an unpredictable occurrence. A specific high-stakes detail is currently fueling the intense excitement: the alleged appearance of an elusive new rate for the Iraqi dinar cited in the high $3 range on certain internal banking test screens. This particular unverified figure has acted as a powerful catalyst, prompting analysts and community traders to meticulously scrutinize ambiguous screenshots and share confidential tips in a concerted attempt to validate the claim. The mention of such a concrete valuation figure provides a tangible focus for the ongoing speculation, enabling participants to more clearly visualize the potential outcomes of the event, thereby significantly heightening the immediate drama and sense of anticipation surrounding the events of the evening. Further broadening the international scope of this intense speculation, the narrative frequently includes references to a purported foreign exchange analyst operating out of Dubai. This figure is allegedly quoted in private circles, referencing a specific trading band that was reportedly discussed in confidential, high-level financial conversations weeks prior. This alleged alignment suggests that the figures currently surfacing within the speculative community are consistent with previously rumored internal targets, lending a perceived sense of continuity and unverified validation to the present-day reports being shared online. Moreover, the discussions have also expanded to include the Vietnamese dong, with claims suggesting that it is being similarly processed and tuned in parallel through international banking channels. This alleged dual movement creates the impression of a synchronized global monetary adjustment, implying that multiple emerging market currencies are being simultaneously realigned as part of a much larger, coordinated financial transformation. The prevailing narrative insists that this combination of specific data points and synchronized activity represents the first truly visible movement of this nature witnessed by the community in nearly a decade of close observation. To provide a framework of historical weight for these supposed developments, the ongoing community narrative often pauses to outline a comprehensive historical context. This backdrop describes an Iraq that has spent many years meticulously building the economic and structural foundations necessary for such a transformative currency event. This preparation is characterized as a long-term strategy involving deep-seated monetary reforms, persistent efforts to stabilize the national financial system, and a gradual, intentional process of aligning the country's economic practices with established international regulatory expectations and norms, setting the stage for the current moment of high expectation. In this context, the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) is credited with implementing extensive digital modernization initiatives, including the adoption of new financial technologies and a concerted expansion of secure digital banking services across the nation. These profound systemic efforts are consistently portrayed as essential steps taken to fulfill the rigorous demands and preconditions set forth by influential international bodies such as the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank. The ultimate goal, according to this interpretation, is to successfully position the Republic of Iraq for a strong, reputable return to the global economic stage, ready for significant capital inflows. The narrative continues by citing an alleged massive growth in Iraq's foreign exchange reserves, claiming they have surpassed a figure of $120 billion, an unverified benchmark often referenced within the community. It also suggests a strategic governmental pivot away from cash-based trade, framing these actions as deliberate and necessary prerequisites for any future currency revaluation. The storyline further reinforces this sense of national readiness by referencing steadily rising oil revenues and the purported introduction of a forthcoming national budget that would be fully denominated in the local currency, signifying a new level of economic autonomy. All of these economic elements are woven together and consistently framed as individual, vital pieces of a grand, meticulously planned national strategy, now culminating in the dramatic moment currently being discussed across speculative forums. By positioning the present situation as the inevitable and deserved outcome of years of prudent, strategic preparation and reform, the story intentionally cultivates an atmosphere of historical significance. This perspective suggests that the current events are not accidental or random, but rather the highly anticipated payoff for a decade of careful, structural financial planning, a testament to national economic fortitude. On the ground, in the capital city of Baghdad, the community narrative vividly describes a metropolis that is supposedly buzzing with subtle but telling signs that an extraordinary, high-stakes operation is taking place. Scenes of intense, late-night activity are imagined at the Central Bank of Iraq, where office windows are said to remain brightly lit long after typical working hours have ended. The alleged presence of additional, purposeful security personnel moving around the perimeter is also frequently cited as an unverified indicator of urgent, high-stakes operations being carried out behind closed doors. In the community's retelling of these events, anonymous central bank staffers are purportedly communicating with local reporters, allegedly confirming that technical teams are working diligently to finalize the complex reconciliation of international accounts before a specified midnight deadline. These highly descriptive yet unverified details are instrumental in creating a potent visual image of coordinated, accelerated movement, as if the entire national financial infrastructure is quietly and methodically shifting gears in ultimate anticipation of a historic and highly consequential monetary adjustment that will impact the nation's future. Further amplifying the atmosphere of quiet tension, the community narrative includes unverified reports that certain automated teller machines atoms in central districts of the capital have momentarily flickered offline for brief, unscheduled software updates. These temporary service interruptions are portrayed not as routine technical glitches, but rather as symbolic and necessary precursors to a large-scale, coordinated monetary adjustment across the banking network. Local news outlets are also reportedly airing vaguely worded segments about a new economic era, using language that community analysts interpret as deliberately coded hints intended to prepare the general public for an imminent currency announcement. The convergence of all these descriptive yet unverified elements successfully creates a vivid, almost cinematic picture of a nation perched on the brink of profound financial transformation. In this highly charged context, every minor anomaly, from a flickered ATM screen to a brightly lit office window, is immediately interpreted as further compelling evidence of a comprehensive, meticulously coordinated plan that is now finally and dramatically coming to fruition after years of planning and waiting, validating the community's long-held beliefs. The focus of the community narrative then shifts back to the United States, where major global banks are similarly portrayed as quietly mobilizing and preparing for the imminent event. The story introduces the concept of alleged internal memos reportedly circulating within specific Tier 1 banking institutions, instructing branches to be placed on a status known as quiet standby. This evocative phrase is used to suggest a state of operational teams waiting with high alert, just beneath the threshold of public visibility and awareness, poised to act when the final signal is given. Anecdotal reports from certain customers woven into this tale claim to have observed brief online system refresh notifications on their banking applications, which the community narrative frames as potential, fleeting foreign exchange table updates. These detailed, though unverified, anecdotes collectively contribute to a powerful feeling that the entire international banking sector is actively bracing itself for a highly significant and system-wide update, one that will undeniably impact account holders and currency investors across the globe, adding another layer of immediacy to the night's activity. A fictional former bank executive is often quoted within these discussions, offering an authoritative, sounding explanation that reinforces the overall sense of coordinated back-end activity. This hypothetical figure suggests that the synchronized timing of the alleged system flashes is highly indicative of new rate feeds being actively imported and integrated from key central exchange partners. While such technical claims are impossible to verify and remain firmly within the realm of speculation, they nonetheless provide a detailed, technical rationale for the series of observations being shared and interpreted by members of the devoted currency community. The narrative concludes this particular section by making a bold assertion. Politics is no longer the key factor or bottleneck preventing the highly anticipated revaluation. Instead, the story unequivocally claims that only precise timing remains as the final, unresolved variable in the complex equation. This assertion is deliberately designed to intensely heighten the overall sense of suspense, while simultaneously maintaining the narrative's sharp focus on the complex, mechanical aspects of the global financial system, effectively reducing the grand event to a simple question of the clock. The deep psychology of this final moment is a central, recurring theme in the community's narrative, representing a profoundly emotional and shared journey for those involved. For well over a decade, countless individuals have navigated exhausting cycles of belief and disappointment, often convinced that a major breakthrough was close, only to face delays and official denials. Tonight, however, the mood is consistently described as being profoundly different, charged with a rare level of perceived clarity and fundamental alignment of factors that the community has seldom experienced before in its long history. According to the prevailing community sentiment, all symbolic indicators, ranging from the alleged readiness of the central bank to the reported completion of digital system integration, are finally converging and pointing in a singular, unified direction. This dramatic convergence of positive signs is powerfully likened to the stringent, non-negotiable protocol for a rocket launch, where every single system must be verified as green before the ultimate ignition sequence can be initiated. In this highly imagined moment, the community feels with intense conviction that they are witnessing the culmination of years of structural, long-term preparation, rather than simply another ephemeral rumor passing through their forums. The pervasive energy of the night is described as stemming from a powerful convergence of various positive indicators that appear far more cohesive and interlinked than ever before in the community's memory. To further solidify this sense of impending validation, The narrative often introduces unverified expert commentaries from economists allegedly representing different geographical regions and specialties. One such expert, described as an economist operating in Baghdad, is often cited suggesting that this anticipated currency adjustment marks Iraq's powerful emergence as a more economically sovereign and self-directed global actor. His commentary is said to focus specifically on the themes of Iraq's economic maturity and increased stability, suggesting that the national currency is finally poised to move into full alignment with true underlying global market dynamics following years of sustained fiscal reform. A contrasting yet complementary perspective is offered by a figure portrayed as a former U.S. Treasury analyst, who frames the current moment as the crucial execution phase of a multi-year, meticulously planned international compliance roadmap. His alleged comments strongly hint that the profound changes currently unfolding have been in motion and carefully coordinated for several years, lending a significant tone of technical, high-level validation to the dramatic events. Additionally, a fictional Vietnamese economist is often referenced, providing a regional and multi-currency dimension to the speculation, suggesting that financial reforms in Vietnam were thoughtfully and deliberately timed to coincide with the structural reforms taking place in Iraq. This creates a fictional yet compelling backdrop of large-scale regional monetary alignment and deep cooperation, powerfully reinforcing the core idea that the current currency event is not an isolated national occurrence, but is, in fact, an integral part of a much broader, coordinated financial transformation involving numerous emerging global markets. The community narrative then extends a powerful invitation, urging viewers to vividly imagine the dawn of a new financial era, painting a detailed picture of what the next morning could look and feel like for currency holders. The audience is powerfully encouraged to visualize themselves logging into their digital banking platforms and seeing specific figures that, for years, felt like unattainable dreams, now presented as fully tangible, real-world values. This complete financial transformation is portrayed as the ultimate catalyst for widespread, positive change within Iraq's economic landscape, leading to an anticipated period of sustained prosperity marked by heavy foreign investment and extensive, necessary infrastructure expansion. The storyline vividly describes a revitalized Iraq, rapidly evolving into a major regional hub for ambitious energy projects and advanced technology partnerships, all as international confidence returns and significant capital begins to flow back into the nation. This aspirational vision culminates in the powerful idea that the currency revaluation is ultimately about a collective rejuvenation of both national pride and global relevance for Iraq. It frames the massive financial shift as the opening of a brand new era, one that will be permanently defined by incredible opportunity, aggressive innovation, and rock-solid economic stability for the entire region. The narrative shifts seamlessly into an inspirational, emotional tone, acknowledging the profound emotional endurance of the many individuals who have faithfully followed this complex storyline for numerous years. It deeply emphasizes that each currency holder has endured immense uncertainty and often crippling skepticism, framing their unwavering persistence not just as luck, but as a powerful testament to their individual strength of character and unwavering belief. This deeply emotional moment is leveraged to highlight the universal theme of resilience, suggesting that the individuals tuning in are collectively witnessing the ultimate validation of their perseverance at the absolute edge of a truly historical turning point in global finance. Practical, unverified advice is then skillfully interwoven into the concluding narrative, laying out a specific, actionable checklist for participants to use in preparing for the imagined, formal exchange process. Individuals are strongly encouraged to diligently keep their physical currency well organized by denomination and to ensure that they have valid, current forms of identification readily available and easily accessible. This detailed, practical guidance adds a critical sense of realism to the narrative's internal logic, powerfully reinforcing the community's deeply held notion that the upcoming transition will strictly involve formal, regulated protocols and official procedures. The narrative issues a clear warning against signing any contracts or legal agreements hastily, urging the community to meticulously review all terms and conditions and to consult with licensed professionals if they deem it necessary. This advice powerfully emphasizes that discipline and careful due diligence are absolutely essential, even during an anticipated moment of immense excitement, and that the proper formal legal procedure must be followed at all times. Participants are further encouraged to remain intensely alert for any official communications from their banks, and, crucially, to strictly avoid sharing any sensitive appointment details online in public forums. The message consistently stresses the paramount importance of maintaining emotional steadiness and self-control, gently reminding listeners that a sudden influx of wealth brings with it its own distinct set of profound responsibilities and challenges. The closing guidance highlights that successfully navigating this long-awaited financial journey will ultimately require immense clarity, a calm, measured approach, and resolute self-control from every participant. In the context of this unfolding story, these detailed, grounded guidelines help to purposefully close the chapter with a powerful sense of balanced preparation, expertly counterbalancing the excitement of the imagined transformation with the necessary discipline required to navigate it wisely and successfully. Analysts within this speculative narrative predict with certainty that a revalued Iraqi dinar would almost instantaneously and rapidly boost the nation's gross domestic product (GDP), thereby successfully attracting foreign companies eager to secure high-value contracts in various economic sectors. A stronger national currency is consistently seen as the ultimate symbol of a stronger, more stable Iraq, a factor that will stabilize regional trade and heavily encourage long-term, sustained international investment. The narrative even suggests that the United States would also benefit significantly from increased returns on its past investments and gain valuable new leverage in its economic partnerships across the region. In this powerful, imagined moment, Iraq's rapid economic rise becomes a positive catalyst for broader global economic growth and stability, constantly reminding listeners that the entirety of this arduous journey was truly about a long-term vision and the profound courage required to collectively believe in a nation's complex, protracted recovery. Purported bank insiders in this scenario continue to report that the new exchange rates are fully loaded into the system, but are currently being held under a specific, predetermined security protocol until all global settlements are fully finalized. This critical technical process is often said to take place during the intense overnight hours, a detail that has inspired the popular, evocative phrase "millionaire morning." By the break of dawn, the audience is told they may finally witness official, binding confirmations originating from major banks or directly from the Central Bank of Iraq, an event that will finally close the long-anticipated final chapter of the community's prolonged wait and speculation. The narrative concludes with a heartfelt expression of deep gratitude to those who steadfastly held on through years of doubt, powerfully portraying this definitive moment as the direct result of their personal resilience rather than simply random luck. Listeners are strongly encouraged to fully recognize their strength and to commit to using their potential blessings with profound integrity and wisdom in the years to come. Finally, it is paramount to clearly reiterate to the audience that the extensive reports and compelling narratives discussed in this news update are entirely based on the current, unverified flow of speculative information circulating heavily within the dedicated currency community. While the sense of excitement is undeniably intense, and the accompanying details are highly specific. They remain an active, developing story that has not yet received official confirmation or endorsement from any recognized government bodies or central banks. The fluid nature of the situation and the community's interpretations of these events are entirely subject to change as concrete, verifiable information becomes available. As always, all observers are strongly advised to approach these developments with a highly balanced and cautious perspective, fully acknowledging both the intense, collective anticipation of the community and the unwavering need for official, public verification before drawing conclusions.